Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is Total Extreme Wrestling for our All Elite Wrestling Save. This is the final week of 2021 in our save. We've got a bit of catching up to do to the real world, but we are about to finish off December of 2021 with this week's episode of Dynamite. New storylines are all booked. We are coming off our Royal Flush pay-per-view, 78 rated show over in London, 1600 in attendance. I gotta say, I was pretty happy with the way this show turned out. I did not expect a 78. 80 for the main event between Cody and Park. Sting and Christian was good, 75 as well. And Adam Page and Jeff Hardy also a 71 rated match. So 3 decent matches on that card to give us a pretty good show overall. So I'm pretty happy with that. So new storylines. Let's take a look. Now, obviously, originally a couple of months ago when I was playing the save, the CM Punk MJF storyline was just kind of really kicking off in real life, and I thought, you know what, I was kind of thinking about going in that direction myself anyways. Now it's been a little bit since I've played, and obviously that storyline is probably nearly coming to a close, or it's, at its climax right now. So for me, I'm definitely still wanting to go in that direction. That's kind of where I was going, and I was trying to think of going in a different direction with both guys. Who could MJF feud with? Who could CM Punk feud with instead? And it really just wasn't a viable option for either guy. Punk would have to kind of work with someone lower down the card. MJF, has kind of already feuded with a lot of the top baby faces already. There might not have been a spot for him at this point. So it kind of makes sense, both guys working together. We're going to do a different spin on this. CM Punk just coming off a feud with the Elite. And CM Punk's whole mission has kind of been to clean up AEW a little bit. He's got there's all these groups in AEW that's kind of running the show a little bit, like the Elite, for example. And CM Punk wants to try and, destroy that. He wants to try and make this a fair landscape in the world of wrestling here in AEW. So the Pinnacle might be the next list of guys that he's going to target. So we're going to go with a little bit of a different spin, but ultimately still the sort of same thing, Punk and MJF. We're going to head back to Cody and Kenny for the World Championship. So Cody Rhodes is currently the World Champion. Kenny Omega and Cody met at last year's Revolution. We might be looking to do those two at Revolution once again. So this time, Cody's going to be champion. Kenny, the number one contender. Last year, Kenny defeated Cody. So we're going to play off that storyline where Kenny defeated Cody last year. He hasn't had another match against Cody since. He believes that he could beat Cody again this time for the world title. And quite honestly, as of right now, I would be having Kenny Omega beat Cody. I think Cody's been an okay champion, a little underwhelming. So I feel like maybe a change is probably needed to try and get the ratings back up. Because Cody, he's averaging around that low 80 mark. We need someone that can maybe get to 83 to 85 plus. Just get that little bit extra. And Kenny Omega's the right man for the job for that. We got Bryan Danielson versus Adam Cole. We're still continuing that one. Jade and Sheeta. This Adam Page and Open Challenge situation. Well, we're going to do Jeff and Adam Page in a rematch. And then we're going to introduce someone else to the storyline. Red Dragon, they're going to come in. So we're just waiting for Kyle O'Reilly to sign. That should happen very soon. They're going to feud the Wild Things. I like that. That should be a good storyline up front. Ricky Starks, he's feuding with Jungle Boy at the moment. It looks like Brian Cage could be leaving AEW potentially, so we might actually spin this a little bit and end up having Brian Cage put over Jungle Boy in this storyline, or maybe, even Ricky Starks and Brian Cage could have a match, something like that, and use Brian Cage in that way. Ruby and Nyla, they're still feuding. Superbad and Shining Force and the tag team titles. Lots of tag teams in the mix there. Ultimately, the Young Bucks will be the team that one of these teams go on to face for the belts. That's where we're at the moment. We might add a few more storylines as well to kind of round out Dark and whatnot. But that's kind of where we're at. So let's go into this week's edition of Dynamite. And to kick it off, Peter Avalon and Brian Pillman one-on-one. 44 rated match. So, we still have Peter Avalon on our roster, even though he's left AEW. So that's someone that we need to remove. And we're going to have him put over a few guys before he ends up leaving. We did open up this week's edition of the main show with Cody Rhodes talking about his big win at Royal Flush over Park. And in the end, Kenny Omega interrupted and says it is time for his title shot. He's been patient. He's had other issues to deal with. Now that's all behind him. He can focus on what's most important to him, and that's the World Championship. So Cody and Kenny, the tease is there. Sammy Guevara defeated Brian Cage in a 61 rated match. This match suffered from a lack of psychology, so this could have been a lot better. Sammy 77, Brian Cage was really good too, 69, but just a 61 rated match. Little disappointing indeed. But we are looking to get Sammy Guevara in the mix here as well with this Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega situation. So we might do Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega as a number 1 contenders match at New Year's Smash, and then we'll go from there into Cody and Kenny. The Portfolio are gambling at the casino, and Lio Rush loses a big bet and is devastated. So we obviously know Lio Rush is leaving AEW as well, so we have to kind of start thinking about how we can get rid of him here. So we're going to have him do a series of sort of bad investments, bad gambling, things like that kind of lead to him being forced out, and maybe the ownership of the Portfolio changing hands. So Lio Rush loses here. One of the things I thought about is what he could have lost is that Hikaru Shida gets a title shot against Jade Cargill as one of the reasons, one of the implications of him losing that bet. 48 for that segment. Ruby Soho is backstage and she's seeking out Nyla Rose, and they enter into a brawl, but it's quickly broken up. So Ruby Soho wants her hands on Nyla. Wasn't able to really get her hands on her for long, but 37 for the segment. Nyla Rose needs a freshen up for her gimmick as well. FTR took on the Best Friends and defeated them. 69 rated match, 15 minutes long. FTR 74 apiece, Trent 51, Chuck 48. Good all-round tag team match there as we try and get FTR some wins under the belt to get them into the title picture. FTR tell Malachi and Darby Allin to come and fight rather than sit back and watch. So during the tag team match, we had Malachi and Darby kind of sitting in the rafters sort of thing, or sitting in the crowd, in the dark, kind of watching on. And FTR want them in the ring to fight now, but obviously that's not going to happen. Park says he's disappointed to lose in front of his home fans, but is determined to bounce back. 86 for that one. So a slight babyface sort of promo for Park for his home audience, but 86 is a really good promo from him. He's really improved out of sight. He has started to have good promos. Obviously, his in-ring performances are nearly the best in the company. He's putting it all together really, really well. So it's a shame that we probably won't ever pull the trigger on him to be a top star or, the world champion. But man, I feel like he could definitely do a great job of it. Bobby Fish and Jon Moxley went one-on-one for a 73 rated match. Mox 81, Bobby Fish 54. Moxley picks up the win in this one. Moxley was off his game too, so he could have been even better. Post-match, Bobby Fish says he will find backup of his own to fight the Wild Thing. So a tease here for Kyle O'Reilly or somebody to come help Bobby Fish. 67 for that one. Yeah, so obviously Eddie Kingston found backup in Moxley. Bobby Fish wants to get some of his own to even the score. Sting grants Jeff Hardy another shot against Adam Page tonight for the TNT Championship. So the GM Sting coming into play here to help out Jeff Hardy and book our main event. 80 rated for that one. Jurassic Express picked up a win over the Good Brothers for 72. About a 12-minute match here. Luchasaurus 60, Jungle Boy 68, Anderson 65, Gallows 62. Pretty good all-round match once again. We had Ricky Starks watching on ringside as well, scouting out his opponents. As we wanted to give Jurassic Express a win over the Good Brothers, we are looking to move the Good Brothers on as well and let them leave our roster. So we're going to have them put over a few of our teams before they leave. CM Punk comments on the state of AEW, in particular, the Pinnacle. So Punk teasing a bit of a feud here with MJF and the Pinnacle. 86 for that one. Not a strong promo, but still decent, not too bad. Main event time. We had Adam Page defeat Jeff Hardy in 18 minutes. Makes it his 5th defense of the TNT title. Adam Page, 84, excellent. Jeff Hardy, 69, pretty good. Again, lacking a bit of psychology. These two have great chemistry, so it's really showing here. Another strong match between these two. and another really big win for Adam Page. But post-match, this is where the big one happens. Miro is back. He's here. He destroys Adam Page and raises the belt. So no more waiting around for Miro. We're going to finally do the heel turn. I didn't realize we've had 26 segments before we've done the heel turn. So much so that the fans have actually gotten bored of waiting and waiting and waiting. So the surprise is not really there anymore. It still went pretty well, but Miro officially turns heel. We needed someone to turn. We needed someone a little bit different, a little bit fresh in that main event scene to spice things up a little bit. So Miro is that guy, and I feel like we might have Miro take back the TNT title so Adam Page can begin focusing on the world. So there is our show, 83 rated, really solid all-around card, great main event, couple of good matches in the middle with a few strong segments, and that will help boost our popularity in 26 regions. All right, post Dynamite, let's take a quick look. Nearly 9,500 in attendance for this one. 1.3 million viewers in total. 966,000 on TNT. So not too bad overall. Here's a couple of big signings. Brody King's going to come in. He'll join the House of Black, and of course they're currently baby faces, so he'll join up there. And Kyle O'Reilly, he'll come in as a heel. And that should be a strong signing as well indeed. So looking forward to seeing how he ends up faring. I just noticed that we've done an exclusive handshake deal when I probably should have done an exclusive written deal. So that's a mistake on my behalf. We might fix that up, because that's the thing. When you got guys with top talent, you want to make sure you lock them in. So we're going to try and do that for Kyle O'Reilly. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes with Bobby Fish. I think it's a great way to elevate Fish. 53 popularity for O'Reilly. That's obviously going to be a little bit higher than Fish, who's got 45. But I feel like Fish will catch up eventually. We'll pair him up with Adam Cole as well, who's got 80. And I think that's a good addition to the roster. Brody King, well, hovering around the low 40s, one area in the Southwest, 52. That's pretty decent. Darby Allin, he's getting close to 60, and Malachi, well, 77. So there's a fair big difference between everyone there, but that's expected. And I feel like we can get Brody King over pretty quickly with his association with those guys there. And hopefully we get ourselves another pretty decent faction to join here. We already have quite a few, as you can see, but the House of Black, I think that's going to be a strong addition to the roster. AEW Dark, let's jump straight into it. And we've got Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy cutting promos here and agreeing to a match at New Year's Smash. We are going to drag this feud out a few more weeks, but I figured a blow-off match on pay-per-view with two guys who are pretty firmly in the middle of the card. One of them probably looking to move up the card at some point soon. I think it deserves to be on the pay-per-view. 70 rated is pretty good for these two on the mic, quite honestly. Next up, we've got Danhausen and Peter Avalon, 30 rated match. Look, nothing too exciting here, but it is the debuting Danhausen. His gimmick rated as poor, so not a great start, quite honestly, to his AEW run. But he gets a win over Peter Avalon. Avalon's obviously on his way out. It's a way to kind of put Danhausen over and maybe give him a bit of popularity. Look, as I said last time, I really don't know much about Danhausen. I feel like he's going to be more of a comedy character, maybe just someone who pops up here and there to does something a bit silly, a bit goofy. I don't think he's going to be a genuine threat in the ring or do anything too much there. But a few wins to maybe boost his popularity is at least something we could do to try and make this work, and that's what we've started to do here. Jay Lethal, Hype Video 49. Well, I haven't forgotten about Jay Lethal yet, but I know he's pretty much an afterthought in real life. I've nearly forgotten about him here, quite honestly. I need to get him a feud, someone to kind of work with straight away. I don't know who the right person is for that just yet. I will try and figure it out. I'll have a look, but yeah, we need something for Jay Lethal to do when he arrives, because we've been building him for maybe a month or so now in game time, and not too much has happened just yet. Hook gets a match here against Marco Stunt, 21 rated. Again, Marco Stunt, he's on his way out of AEW. We're going to get rid of him. So it does kind of relate here. Hook with Team Taz and the Jurassic Express. There is some relation there, and we do give Hook the win. 3-minute match, just a quick win to make him look good. 21 in the end, hopefully to boost his popularity. QT Marshall hypes up Anthony Ogogo for 39. So Ogogo is coming off some big stuff, big involvement in the Team England, Team USA storyline. So we want to keep him doing something this week in the mix and on TV. Wardlow picks up a win over Evil Uno, 63 rated. Wardlow 70, Uno 45. Good match here. So Wardlow's been doing a lot in real life, and he's actually on a great run. He's really getting over. They're nearly at the point where they might pull the trigger on the babyface turn. So for me, I want to keep getting Wardlow in the ring a little bit more. He's already got popularity for us. He's nearly at 70 popularity. Can you believe it? But for me, I want to make sure we keep Wardlow getting wins and keep improving him so he can be more of a factor on our roster. And we're going to start having him work with some of the mid-card guys a little bit more in the near future. We had the Inspiration gloat about how great they are for 56. Pretty good promo, quite honestly, here between two women. They will definitely be a big factor for us, these two, and they'll just have to wait their turn, with Tay J getting the spotlight at the moment as a tag team champs, but obviously those two teams will feud at some point at a considerable length as well. Ali took on Yuka Sakazaki for 27. So last time these two women met, Ali picked up the win. This time, Yuka picks up the victory thanks to Penelope Ford messing up and costing Ali the match. 27 rated. Not enough popularity between these two to really make it a great match, but still 38 apiece they performed, which is pretty good. There's something there for sure. Christian Cage talks about his loss to Sting for 72. Wanted to have Christian here to follow up his loss and at least be doing something in some regard. Leo Rush, he's in the ring and he takes on Dante Martin. So we're going to have the Acclaimed and Top Flight feud. I think that's a sensible feud for both teams at this point. Leo Rush 49, Dante 38, 41 rated match. A pretty good match, quite honestly. In the end, Dante Martin picked up the win over Leo Rush. And to follow it up, Leo Rush says he's having a lot of bad luck. He's in a bit of a bad luck streak. He's going to promise to turn it around to all the portfolio team members there. So, yeah, so we're kind of playing off that. He lost big at the casino, and now he's lost this singles match here. It's just not really happening for Leo at the moment. He's making a few bad judgment calls. So now the members of the portfolio are starting to think, well, maybe we've made a bad decision here to join up with Leo, 45 for that segment. In our main event, we had Park and Lee Moriarty in there for 71. And Park 83, Lee 33. Once again, wanted to follow up Park, get him a match, get him doing something this week. And we said before that he's a guy you can always rely on to have a great match. And he's done it again. 71, terrific match up here. And that gives us a 61 rated edition of Dark. That's pretty good. Alright, it is time for AEW Rampage, and on the pre-show, Rio took on Kiera Hogan for a 41 rated match. Pretty good actually, 42 from Rio and 35 from Hogan. Rio picks up the win to keep her momentum going. Wanted to also give Kiera Hogan a chance to get in the ring, see what she can do, and look, she's really proven to be a decent hand. I mean, we might have to try and find something a little bit more for her to do, whether that's a new tag team potentially, maybe even a singles run, but she's got a bit of potential for sure. Speaking of the pre-show, QT and Anthony Ogogo teamed up to defeat Fuego and Marco Stunt. 41 for this one. Just a way to give Ogogo another win, I suppose, and also Marco Stunt. We're going to get rid of him, so him to take a loss. It won't really help that much because it's on the pre-show, but nonetheless, something there anyways. Men of the Year also had a promo as well for 39, and Orange Cassidy picked up a win over Jack Evans for 56th. And Orange Cassidy, 58, Evans, 45. So pretty solid match here. I didn't expect it to be that good. But yeah, a win for Cassidy. Again, another guy that we're not really going all in on. We've dabbled in a little bit with him, giving him a bit of a push. But for the most part, we're kind of being a little bit reserved about it. So, look, 58 performance. If he can keep that up, maybe it's worth investing more into him. Okay, we're going to open up this week's edition of Rampage, the main show, with Adam Cole saying that he's a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson. So cutting a promo on Danielson, 87 for that one. Good stuff there, and a way just to keep this storyline moving along. Next up, Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander, 52 rated match. Wow. Chris Statlander 48, Nyla Rose 45.
Well, Statlander's been out of the mix a little bit because she's in an unfortunate position where she's got too much popularity to kind of be losing to any of the current women that's in a storyline. And if she's not in the title picture, then really, what is she really going to be doing? So she's just a little bit unlucky that way, but we've inserted her into the storyline here. She's actually defeated Nyla Rose in this match thanks to Ruby Soho interfering and costing Nyla the win. So this is a way we can incorporate Kris Statlander. You know, she's going to beat Nyla Rose. She deserves to beat her. She's got more popularity than Nyla, but this is a way to continue the Soho and Rose storyline. So 52 is an excellent match between the two women here. Really good stuff. Speaking of Ruby Soho, she taunts Nyla Rose as Nyla is furious about the loss. So Nyla Rose obviously in the ring. She's having a bit of a tantrum. She's talking some trash as Ruby Soho just kind of poses and just kind of laughs at her a little bit as she's walking out of the arena. We had Malachi Black, Darby Allin, and the debuting Brody King. The House of Black is formed, and they have a special ceremony to welcome Brody King. 64, not a hugely successful segment here, but Brody King has a great debut in terms of his new gimmick. So that's a good start. So he's got a new gimmick, it's good. So we're starting on the right foot here. So just kind of like a special, weird, kind of mysterious sort of ceremony to introduce Brody King to the group. And then they had a match. So Malachi Black and Brody King defeated the Wingman in about 5 minutes. So a dominant win here. Brody King, 52. Okay, we can work with that. That's fine. Malachi, 79. So that's good from Brody King. Obviously, he's a long way behind in terms of his popularity in comparison to Malachi and even to Darby, so he's got a lot of catching up to do. So the House of Black might have a few, worse segments, I suppose, poor segments to try and catch Brody King back up to the rest of the group. But 53 match is okay. The Wild Things welcome the challenge of Bobby Fish and another partner for 74. So promo there by Mox and Kingston, so kind of teasing that Bobby Fish is going to find someone, and they're more than happy to accept and fight in a tag team match. In our main event was Miro and Frankie Kazarian. So Miro coming off a fresh heel turn. Wow, 86 rated performance. Are you kidding me? I mean, these two did have pretty good chemistry, and that lifted the match. But 86 from Miro? Oh my god, that is very good. Kazarian 49, that's good for him too. Wanted to give Miro a win. I thought, okay, maybe a 70 rated main event here. Something solid just to kind of give Miro a solid win. Because he's coming off, obviously, the new heel turn. We're going to be feuding him with Adam Page. Speaking of, Miro says that his God wants him to become TNT champion again. That's his mission in life. His focus in life is to become a champion again. And he wants to take it from Adam Page. 85 for the promo there. Good stuff. Good way to continue that storyline. And it gives us a 71 rated edition of Rampage. It wasn't looking like it was going to be anything good, but a great main event there. Tell you what, Miro, he could be a serious contender here, especially he's got plenty of popularity. Pulls that 80 plus performances. He's going to be very good for us going forward. All right, let's take a look at all the results and the fallout from this week's Rampage and Dynamite. So nearly 1.1 million viewers. Well, we did get 1.1 million in total. On TNT, we hit 790,000 viewers. So the ratings not really moving too much, but it's still solid nonetheless. Couple of different things. So Ring of Honor have made a few signings. Shane Strickland, got Killer Cross and Marty Scurll all joining Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor, last time they announced that they will become a medium-sized company. So they've moved up in size, even though in real life they're probably moving down and down and down in size. But in our game, they're actually flourishing. They're doing well. Got Andrade's there on a loan, so he's there. Obviously now signing Killer Cross. Marty Scurll, that's probably a controversial one. Probably wouldn't have done that. Shane Strickland. And they might get a few more too. So they are trying to expand. Killer Cross is someone that I probably wouldn't have minded having under contract for myself at some point, because I still think he's got a lot of potential, but not to be. Instead, he's gone to an exclusive contract to Ring of Honor. So we'll see how they go. It's going to be interesting. That means there's another strong rival promotion. We're clearly the number 2 promotion in the world, and Ring of Honor sits at number 5. So they are bigger than Impact, and so they should be. At a medium size, they definitely could make some sort of play to be a legitimate threat. Now that they have the size, and they've still got a bit of money there to actually do something. $2.5 million, they could definitely pick up a couple of potential free agents that would be interesting, no doubt about that. In terms of contracts, Kyle O'Reilly, he's about to sign. We're still waiting for that. AQA, she's also signed a contract in real life, so we're going to bring her in. She hasn't got much skill or popularity in the game to really, be too hyped about. And the other one that we have to get, of course, is a big signing, Keith Lee. So Keith Lee, he's got 63 popularity here in our game. He started around the low 50s, so he has had a bit of progression. I think 63 is probably about right for Keith. Maybe more like 58 would probably be where he might sit. But he's going to come in. We're going to sign him to an exclusive deal for us. And he's 37 years of age, so we'll sign him to about a 3-year deal. That will pretty much close him out. So he's not happy becoming just exclusive to us. So we're going to have to just go with a written deal. And he's going to want 2.2. So 3-year deal for Keith. He still wants a higher cut the merch. 20% should cover it. So we're bringing Keith Lee. Hopefully no one else tries to take him and make us pay even more for him. But he's got really good stats. And I've got no doubt in my mind he'll have some good performances. And he's only had one match since leaving NXT. And his last NXT match, he performed at 78 in a 3-way with Galloway and Busick. So that is pretty impressive. And I think he could be a really, really good wrestler for us. He had a match against Baba Tunde. He still managed to have a 73 out of match because he performed at 73. So we can get those sort of performances out of Keith. He could definitely be a main event guy. His debut in real life was excellent, and it kind of oozes, top guy material. He's got the charisma, he's got the star power about him. It's something a little bit different. So definitely believe he could be a top guy for us. The issue is we have so many already. We've got a lot of guys in the main event card, so he might be one of those guys that will, stuck in the upper mid card for a little bit unless we really pull the trigger. And depending how he performs when he comes in, we might pull the trigger straight away. It's a very real possibility, but it's exciting times. Lots of new talent coming in, lots of new guys we have to bring in and kind of push. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tricky, but also a lot of guys that might have to leave the company. Someone like Brian Cage, we're not doing anything with him. He's not doing anything in real life. We might have to move him on. Marco Stunt, as we mentioned, Peter Avalon, Big Swole, we got rid of her. So there's a few names that I'm sure will be leaving AEW in real life. We're going to do that here in our game to try and make some room for these new guys that are coming in, because our roster's huge. So hopefully we can trim some of the fat to make our roster even better. So I'm looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for this edition of Total Extreme Wrestling. New Year Smash, 3 weeks away. That's our next pay-per-view. And we've got the new year. So we're going to find out all the new results coming up in the next episode of all the wrestlers who won the Wrestler of the Year, Company of the Year, all that good stuff. That's coming next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time.